Hello, welcome to a patch analysis for 7.27 by me, Vinny. Made one a little while ago that I think I got quite a few things right, but it was overall like a small patch. This we have a big update, and in about a week there will be the hero changes that they're going to make according somewhat to the data that they collect from 7.27. So here is just going to be changes to, the economy and items primarily. And the changes are big. This is a big patch without a doubt. I have played a match series already on the patch, and I definitely used some of the things that I had assumed off of my reading of the patch, and I think it helped me have a very great game. So let's dive right into it. Hero kills base experience up by 60, and last hit gold up by 21 plus 0.8 per level. Kills worth a lot more. Assist gold is back to being more dependent on the target's net worth. So if you are assisting and killing somebody of high net worth, you're going to get more, and less if they're like a poor support. Passive income up by 10. That's a really big deal. Every minute you just get 10 more gold. Really big deal, especially for sports. Bounty rune's reliable. Tower last hitting, not as important. You're not going to be as sad when you miss the last hit on the tower. Stacking, even better. They've buffed this number a lot. When it first got introduced, what was it, 20% maybe? Now it's twice of that. Stacking, a lot better. This is overall a big increase in the amount of gold in the game, which is kind of surprising because they've mostly been trying to dial back on the amount of gold, and now they're like, fuck it, here, take all the gold. Mid lane camp, so you can't farm as big a camp at the same time in the mid lane. The prowlers are just gone from the game. Good riddance, those purple bastards. Alrighty. Some of this stuff, I'll let you read it. I don't want the video to be, an hour and a half. Outposts can no longer be taken by the enemy team until they kill one of your tier 2 towers. This is a big deal. It means you don't have to worry about outposts until probably at least a 20-minute outpost, and you can't just take it at the beginning of the game, which is kind of weird and random. So that's gone now. And then I just want to say, I don't want to sound conceited, but I am very good at predicting what Ice Frog does and doesn't want. And I have said so many times that I don't think Ice Frog wants this ridiculous creep aggro stuff going on, where people are just behind tier 2 towers and spinning on waves as axe and stuff. All lane creeps now avoid hero aggro until they are near enemy creeps, neutrals, or within 1550 range of a tier 1 tower. This is active until siege units spawn at 5 minutes. So it does stop at 5 minutes, but that is, that's forever in the laning stage. That means you cannot just go pull as the position 4 and cause double waves and all this crazy stuff. This hurts a lot. This hurts a lot of weak laners, because if you're a weak laner, this is usually a tactic you wanted to resort to. Or even if you weren't a weak laner like Axe, this is just still something you wanted to do to just generate insane GPM for yourself. But now you can't aggro those creeps until 5 minutes pretty much. Courier bounty reduced. I don't know why it was so high. It was kind of fun, but yeah, it was way too high. It starts flying at level 4 now instead of 5. And big change, movement speed reduced by 15% while carrying consumables. So ferrying out regen is going to be that much weaker, 15% slower. And it's going to make it easier to snipe the courier as well. Armor formula is now basically 6% over 1 plus your armor times 6%. So this makes armor a little bit less effective overall. So they're really kind of like, there's been like 3 formulas in the modern history of Dota. At first, let's say in like 2015, you had armor being at, I want to say this value, around this value of 6%, and then and it is stacking diminishingly, of course, at around 6%. Then came a patch where it was at like 0.52%, or like 5.2%, and then currently it's something like almost 7%, I think. It's about like 7%. So overall, this makes armor a little bit less effective. However, they did slightly increase the armor you get from agility, but it's still less effective overall armor. And I'm okay with this because, especially in higher MMR games, there's always way more magical damage than there is physical. So now you're going to be doing a little bit more physical damage than you would before. And this is really weird. I never thought they would change this without like changing the damage type that the tower does to creeps. so it doesn't mess with like this like decade of muscle memory from last hitting under tower. But they increase the attack rates of the towers and decrease the damage. DPS is the same, but now they attack faster. This is very weird. It just kind of makes it so you have to get more used to last hitting under tower under these new values. Like, I don't know, it's faster hits to punish things like instances of protection, but that's like just so ridiculously specific. I don't know why they did this, but like whatever, I don't really care. Siege unit health increase a little bit. All pick now goes, you pick 2 heroes at the same time in the first and second stages, and then last pick takes last pick. Interesting. Captain's mode got changed up to have 2, 3, 2 be the ban phases, so now there's a total of 7 bans, which, you know, as the hero pool increases, there should be more bans, I suppose. So 7 bans now, and it goes 2, 3, 2. So Admiral Bulldog might be able to come back. It's still 2 bans though, but it was 2 bans, you know, throughout the majority of the history of Dota. But, you know, maybe we'll see Bulldog return. Ready. And then Fury Swipes, the Ursa passive has been given to the Fountain so that you can't permanently Fountain camp people. Okay, sure. It's not really something that happened to me, but yeah, if you're getting like smurfed on and crushed, now they can't crush you as hard. That's nice. And this is big. Now all types of amplification and yeah, just basically all types of amplification stacks diminishingly, which is kind of how I would have expected it to work. Like armor and magic resistance, it's diminishing, but it's it wasn't. Like it was like additively. Status resistance is also diminishingly as well, but now it is just diminishing, so you can't just, you know, have, let's say, 2 halberds on Huskar and just have 40% or whatever it was more stack. Now it'll be like, you know, 36 or something, you know what I mean? Alright, Necronomicon, this is a big one. We were all expecting differences. No more Archer aura, so you don't have the movement speed and attack speed aura. However, the Necro unit itself is going to have its values adjusted to be the same as when it had the aura, but it won't apply to your hero anymore. The attack damage type has been changed, so now it does a little bit less to buildings, kind of a lot more to heroes, but way less for creeps, way less for creeps. So that means you're going to see like pretty much no more Spectre Necro books and stuff, but this is still going to be amazing on like Lycan and Beastmaster. You're actually going to have an easier time killing heroes with it. Mana regen reduced on the early levels of it. And last will, the death damage from the melee warrior does not go through spell immunity. Helm of the Dominator. Very interesting changes to Helm of the Dominator. Let's just go over it in the game to look at the price. The old Helm of the Dominator was, oh boy, I don't know, 2,125 or something like that. And if we look at the Dominator now, 2,100, so it's like pretty much the same price. Pretty much the same price. I think it might be exactly the same price. And now what you're getting is you're getting 6 armor, 6 to all attributes. Cooldown has been buffed, and instead of giving the damage and regen aura, you're going to get base damage to the creep, plus HP regen to the creep, and mana regen. But you do get armor, HP regen, and stats for your individual hero. The stats for your individual hero is stronger, but the aura is weaker. Overall, pretty large nerf. Okay, Vlad just went full circle and just went back to the old Vlads, pretty much. But no more armor, no more stats. Less lifesteal, but now you get 18% more damage. And a little bit more mana. But it got more expensive again, so... this item is no longer a support item, I'm afraid. Or like it's only very specific a support item. Nice for damage, but overall nerfed, I think. They just are tired of auras, I guess. No more auras. Love the change to drums. Drums was a little weak for sure. Now it's going to be a bit better for yourself, but you're going to lose the attack speed aura, but a lot better for yourself in my opinion. You're now getting 6 attributes compared to the 4. It has the mana regen back, which I love to see. And they buffed the active by a little bit. So we could definitely see some drums and just carries that want to fight again. Buckler nerfed by kind of a lot, half an armor, and then it was like spread so like 1 armor between 2 heroes. Greaves and Mech, this is a big nerf, I would say. You're losing the stats. You do get, oh, okay, it's not a big nerf. You're losing the stats. You're getting a 3 armor aura, which still applies to yourself, so now it's like 7 armor to yourself instead of 6. Losing the stats on this. Meh. So you get an armor aura, but you lose stats. It's about the same item. You know, a little bit less good for yourself, a little bit better for your teams, for your team. Crimson Guard, losing the stats, and just gets a cooldown. Kind of a strange change. I think this is probably a nerf overall. I don't know if 6 seconds cooldown. I guess this is really good for defending towers. Like, it's really easy to defend towers, like especially in between creep waves. I don't know. I don't think we're going to really see any more or less of it. This is the one that people are talking about a lot. Blade Mail. Now it's a 500 gold recipe instead of using Robe of the Magi, so the price is 50 more. No more int, which is a huge nerf, but let's keep reading. Armor bonus. 1 more armor. Now has a passive component that returns 20 plus 20% of the attack damage. And the active has been reduced to 80, so that when you activate it, it's now going to be the same that it was, 100. So this is much better on tanks now. Much less good on like intelligence heroes that want to damage, like Void Spirit, for example. But like on a Centaur, this is way better now. Like, you're already doing Retaliate, plus then you do an additional 20, and then 20% of whatever damage you were taking. The attack damage thing is kind of a big deal because it's not magic damage for this 20 number. So, we'll see. A lot of people have been hyping it up and think it's really good, but I'm not sold on this. I do think, like I said, I think it's better on your super tanky guys, but overall, we're going to see way less Blade Mail, in my opinion. Okay, this is... Come on, janitor. Couldn't fill this in? This is, what are it called? Raiden Knuckles or something? Knuckles? E-Knuckle? Sonic and Knuckles? Whatever it is, it looks kind of weird. This thing. Blitz Knuckles. Which is just a 1,000 gold item that gives you 35 attack speed. So, a new basic item. And a couple things use it as a component, such as MKB, which is now doing 10 less damage but giving 25 more attack speed. This is overall a buff. Probably a slight nerf for things like Gyro or whatever that cared more about the raw damage, but overall this is a slight buff to the item, I would say. Very slight though, because it did get a little bit more expensive. This is 1,000 gold compared to the Quarterstaff, which was 825. Oblivion Staff bonus damage increased from 10 to 15. Orchid Malevolence, the int and mana regen reduced. However, it got 300 gold cheaper. Or, wait, what? Oh, 400 gold cheaper because they also reduced the price of Sage's Mask, I think, which we'll see later on. They've been making Orchid cheaper and cheaper. This is really scary. Like, if you're a Storm or an Anti-Mage, you should be very scared of this. Overall, we're going to see more Orchid, I think. Shadow Amulet cost reduced. Glimmer Cape, however, now requiring Gloves of Haste, so in reality it's still a little bit more expensive. Shadow Blade, 5 more attack speed, 2 less damage, kind of irrelevant. Now Shadow Amulet, Blitz Knuckles, and Broadsword. Instead, before it was Claymore, so the price from 1,800 or from 2,800 went to 3,000, so it got 200 gold more expensive. Getting a little bit more attack speed, a little bit less damage. Kind of a nerf, in my opinion, at first glance, until you look at this. Okay, well, the Echo Saber, this is a nerf, because Monkey King just got destroyed. Not destroyed, but like, wow, this is a big deal for Monkey King. You probably just don't buy Echo Saber on Monkey King anymore, almost. That's how big this is, because now the Monkey clones aren't going to be applying the Echo Saber, which, to be fair, it was way too good. Like, you would keep Echo like almost forever on Monkey King because the slow in your ulti was insane ever since they got rid of the bash. The ability to do the bash with a basher. But now, Silver Edge, instead of requiring Ultimate Orb, is going to use an Echo Saber inside of the recipe, and it provides 40 damage, 35 attack speed, 12 strength, and blah. And I went the Silver Edge in my Slark game. It felt very good. It builds there's a good amount of heroes like Tiny, Slark, that would otherwise buy both Shadowblade and Echo sometimes. So the fact that you can combine them both into one slot, I think that's really nice. The price went up by a lot. Not a yeah, a lot. A lot. Like it was 5,000 before about. Went up by over 1,000 costs. And it doesn't give agility anymore, but you don't really need the agility that badly when you have that double attack already built in. The mana regen built in is very nice. It's not super crazy, I think, as a buff, but it's definitely a buff. Now, as for Bracer, Wraithband, and all, they got pretty destroyed. Pretty destroyed, -1 to all stats. No more magic resistance. Now it's giving you 3 damage and 3/4 of an HP regen. Wraithband is going to give you 1.5 armor and 5 attack speed. So basically you only gained 1.5 armor for losing 3 stats. Not worth it. Null Talisman, you lost 3 stats. However, you gained 0.6 mana regen. I think Null is the most, or the least nerfed out of all of them. I think you can still go Bracer. I mean, you can still go all of these, but like stacking them, it feels way worse for me now, except for maybe Null on some heroes. But yeah, I'm definitely okay with this because it was just, there were so few good early items, and so just Wraithband, Bracer, Null has been controlling the meta for a long time now. Ring of Regen, reduced on Sage's Mask, but a way bigger nerf on Sage's Mask than Ring of Regen. Sage's Mask was very strong, so I can see why they did it. Ring of Protection got more expensive, back to 175, so this item is way less value now. All the aura items, the price is the same, but the buckler, armor aura got nerfed, headdress is the same, Ring of Bacillus is the same. A couple of price adjustments to make sure everything stays the same. Pipe, again, adjusts to remain the same because Cloak got reduced in price. Was that not here yet? Did I pass that? I don't know, but Cloak got reduced in price by 100. Tranquil Boots, Unbroken Speed reduced by 5 because the cost was reduced, and the Broken Speed reduced down to like a normal 45. So we lost 5 movement speed for 50 gold. It's not really going to change when you buy Tranquil Boots at all, but I think I'd rather have the 5 movement speed back, but it's such a minor change. Here is the big changes. The Kaya, Yasha, Sanj family. So now, instead of mana loss reduction, which was kind of a weird thing, it's going to give mana regen amplification on Kaya. And Yasha and Kaya is no longer going to... same deal. Like, all the components are going to lose that, so no more mana loss reduction. And instead, they get mana regen amplification. And Bloodstone is not... is going to give the spell lifesteal amplification now, which all the Kaya-based components are going to give. So Octarine Core, or spell lifesteal talents, and then Voodoo Mask is a new item that's getting added that is going to give you spell lifesteal as well. So spell tanks are definitely going to see a rise, like DP and Leshrac. I think Leshrac got a lot better this patch. Bloodstone, Kaya Yasha, Spell Amp, and Kaya Sanj and Kaya Yasha increased by 2%. These items were really like kind of bad, and you saw them very rarely, so I still think it's going to need a little bit more. So now you have Spell Lifesteal Amp, and you have Spell Amp on these guys instead. The problem is that Bloodstone is just so much better, and any hero that wants to buy Yasha and Kaya or Kaya and Sanj, pretty much every single one, could also realistically buy a Bloodstone, right? Very few heroes would get one of these and not get a Bloodstone, so I still think Bloodstone's better, but especially since you'll see a huge Bloodstone buff coming up. But Bloodstone's still way better than these, but they're better now. At least you have that. Sanj is no longer amping your spell lifesteal, which was weird. It shouldn't have done that anyway. Now it only does regular attack lifesteal. Soul Booster and Bloodstone is now going to give you 10% magic resistance. Randomly, I don't know, but sure. Octarine Core, which of course builds out a Soul Booster, is now going to give that as well. And here's the big Bloodstone buff. There's never been a cooldown buff this big on anything. From 250 to 85. You can Bloodstone like every fight now. for the big burst heal. What in the world? Okay, I guess. Yeah, like I said, this is a big buff to anyone that buys Bloodstone. So I'm pretty sure Kaya and Sandra are still in the dumpster, because I think Bloodstone actually got a bigger buff than they did. And this is, again, the janitor being lazy. This is actually Voodoo Mask, and Voodoo Mask is a new component item. I'll show you right now. This thing, it's like Witch Doctor's Mask. 900 gold item, 12% spell damage lifesteal, and only 2.5% against creeps. 900 gold. So basically the equivalent of Morbid Mask, which it's appropriately right next to. I love the art on that one though. Way better than Blitz Knuckles. Octarine Core now requires Soul Booster Voodoo Mask and a 900 gold recipe, so 900 cheaper, but is not giving the 25 intelligence anymore. 25 intelligence for 900 gold was honestly a pretty good deal, but now it gives plus 10% magic resistance. 900 is a lot cheaper, and sometimes you didn't really need that mana, because if there's no hero that buys Octarine Core without having Bloodstone and Yules and all this other stuff, so maybe the int loss doesn't matter that much. Alright, Veil of Discord. You lose 5 to all attributes, so 15 attributes. The cooldown's 5 seconds longer. And all you got out of it was 500 gold cheaper. Oh yeah, and they also reduced the spell amp from 20 to 18? What? This item was so bad already. I'm pretty sure this is a nerf. 500 cheaper is a lot cheaper, but you lost 5 to all stats, cooldown, and the damage it increased. God, this item's so bad. The only thing I could see, the only reason I could see for this is, I guess they're expecting like these, like I said, these spell tanks to come back in, and it's like, oh no, amping them up with Veil of Discord on top of that, they're gonna lifesteal too much. I don't know. This is a shit item. Holy Locket, horrible item. Very random and meaningless buff. You can now target allied units with a magic stick. In reality, they mean magic wand. Magic wand active, 500 cast range. So now you can wand your teammates. This is so minor. It's still a horrible item, but I mean, you know, 20. When you have 20 charges, it's 300 heal, and that heal should be increased by the locket itself as well. So it definitely will matter at some point, but like nobody buys this item. Soul Ring, instead of giving HP regen, it's gonna give you 2 armor. I mean, usually the heroes that buy Soul Ring kind of wanted armor anyway, so I think this is fine. I don't think this is really a nerf or a buff. Shrug. Hyperstone gives you a little bit more attack speed. AC, you lose the stats on it. However, the attack speed or a bonus was increased by 5. This is a nerf to it overall. The item was really good. It's a little bit better for your team now, but losing plus 5 stats I don't think is worth 5 attack speed for everybody else. Bloodthorn attack speed increased by 5. Okay, sure. Battle Fury, damage reduced by 5, mana regen reduced by 0.5. However, it uses Claymore instead of Mithril Hammer now, which is 200 gold cheaper, so this isn't really going to affect when you buy Battle Fury, I think. Still a perfectly viable item. Broadsword lost 1 damage. Crystallis lost 2 damage, but got 200 cheaper. I think this is overall a buff. Cloak is 100 cheaper, so no one really bought Casual Cloak, but maybe you can now. Against Zeus, you can buy Casual Cloak. Usually, if anything, you'd buy Casual Hood of Defiance, but that price has gone up to compensate, so maybe you can go Casual Cloak against a lot of magic damage. Considering that Bracer's magic resistance got removed, you can only get it from Cloak now for cheap, so maybe. I'm calling it, yeah. We'll see Casual Cloak now. I'll do it, sure. Satanic now has a 500 gold recipe. This item was mega overpowered. I'm kind of surprised this is the way they chose to nerf it. Yeah, it's a nerf. Still very good, though. Meteor Hammer changes. Cooldown reduced by 4. Stun duration reduced by 1/4 of a second. Now is Perseverance Crown and 200 gold recipe. Gives you plus 8 to all stats. Before it was 10 to int and strength, I want to say. Plus 6.5 health regen. And 2.5 mana regen. It's kind of a weird change. The price looks like... Yeah, the price went down by a bit. Price went down by a bit. Are we actually going to see this item more now, though? Yeah. I think we'll see a little bit more Meteor Hammer, because it got cheaper. You lost 2 on Int and Strength for 8 Agi. You pretty much never bought this on an Agility hero, so I think that's not an improvement, but the more you're getting more regen out of it now, so yeah, we'll see a little bit more Meteor Hammer. Spirit Vessel got nerfed. You know, when we saw that patch where they changed Spirit Vessel to what it is now, I think everyone predicted, well, pretty much everyone predicted it was going to be OP. Some people were saying, but it's worse in a lot of situations too. But I was like, yeah, but the teamfight application just seems so superior. But at the end of the day, I actually will say that I think I overestimated how much more powerful it would be. It wasn't as ubiquitous as I thought it would be, but Valve nerfed it anyway. Maybe it was as powerful as I first thought from their data. Who knows? But the aura is just gone. The regen increased by 10 or 33%, which is nice because it was very low. It didn't heal your teammate, like it healed your teammates by so little. It made me feel like not using it ever on them. Soul release DPS increased by 10, and then the regen reduction from 35 to 45. But in reality, it's from 55 to 45. It got nerfed because the 20% aura is just gone. This is a large nerf to Spirit Vessel. I'll probably still buy it on Veno, sure, but this is a big nerf. Shiva's Guard. This is a big buff. Freezing Aura applies 25% heal reduction in the era. So not the active, but just the passive. Shiva's did passively reduce your enemy's attack speed, but now it's also going to passively reduce their heal by 25%. So maybe I'll pick this up on Veno. You already could pick it up on Veno for sure, but maybe I'll go it more frequently. And the only nerf it got for this was it got 100 more expensive. 100 more expensive for 25% heal reduction. I think you need Shivas in like every game now. This is one of the most buffed items of the patch, is Shivas. Dagon is now giving you plus stats to all attributes. And it got like a tiny bit less expensive for the level 1. I think we'll see a little bit more level 1 Dagon going around. Plus 6 to all the attributes. 300 magic damage. Definitely still a troll item, but if you want to buy it, you won't be trolling as hard anymore. Heart, a lot of people think this got super nerfed. But I would say don't underestimate passively providing 1% health regen. This is a lot. Heart is, again, it's better on heroes that are already really tanky, especially with Blade Mail. Don't forget about that Blade Mail. Passive regen, passive Blade Mail damage. Out of combat, it's still giving similar to those old bonuses. The recipe cost even got increased, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to see like any more hearts necessarily. I'm just saying in the situations where it was a good situation for heart, it's going to be even better now. But those situations were very rare, to be fair. And guess what's back on the menu, guys? Scotty is back on the menu because the slow got increased by 5%. Or, if you look at it this way, 25% on melee heroes. And the heal reduction got increased by an additional 5%. Calling Blade, small, got cheaper, but got weaker. Not going to affect it. Lincoln Spear, recipe cost reduced by 300. This item is back on the menu as well, everybody. Lincoln Spear is very good again. So is Scotty. Abyssal Blade, cast range, reduce. This could have seen a bigger nerf, I think, but it's something. Still very good. Heaven's Halberd, reduced by 5% of the evasion. Still very good, but this does hurt. This does hurt. Dragon Lance gets 2 more agi. Midas, oh, you might say, is Midas better yet? No, it's still not better, because remember, kills are worth more experience than gold now. So early fighting is very important. You don't want to fight with an early Midas. This is easily just as bad as it was before. Refresher Orb cooldown reduced. That's cool because, like, I don't know, I never really got Refresher. Ever since it stopped giving Int or whatever it used to do, or mana, I never really buy this Untied Hunter or anyone anymore, practically. So I'm happy to see a Refresher buff, which I want to see more of it because it's a very cool item. I feel like they could get rid of Refresher Chart from Roche as well. I feel like that's a big reason no one buys Refresher Orb really anymore. This used to be a really cool late game item, but you don't see it very much anymore. Maybe take away Refresher Shard and just start giving Ags earlier on the Roche. And here's part of the reason why Lincoln's and Scotty is so good again, is the Ultimate Orb price reduced by 100. Infused range drop, mana regen reduced, nullifier, projectile speed increased. Thank goodness. Please increase it even more. This item is not good, and it's so slow. The projectile is so damn slow. Eating your agnums is going to cost 200 less now. Aether Lens slightly cheaper. Boost travel 2. Cooldown super insanely low, 30. So for some very late game split pushers, this is a big buff. Smoke, only 50 gold. You guys have no excuse not to buy those smokes now. Just buy them so the new ones can come in, even if you're not ready to use them. Sentry Reward, replenish cooldown, reduced from 90 to 85. I don't know why they did this. I feel like ever since they got the long duration and the big range, Invis has been a little on the weak side. But whatever. Not a big difference. Tome is half the price. Big deal. Gloves of Haze, doesn't matter. You can no longer find 2 consumable items in the same neutral item tier, so you can't get Royal Jelly and Mango Tree. Or, for example, Repair Kit and Greater Fairy Fire. Slight Iron Talon nerf. This one went from being like the worst neutral item to basically the best. So, tiny nerf, still very good. Mango, pickup range for mangoes is changed from the default of 150 to 300. So when you put this on a cliff, you can actually pick them up now instead of it getting trapped. Has a mini map icon, so you don't have to be like, wait, whose mango tree is this? Broom handle, a little bit more attack range. I really like the broom handle already, so for another buff on it, sure. Faded brooch lost 5 movement speed. Not really a great item anymore, I don't think. Arcane ring, losing 1 armor. Vampire fangs, some more night vision. This was a really bad neutral item. Like, the thing about vampire fangs is it comes too early for it to be good. Like, lifesteal is better later, but then it's like we have better items by then anyway, because obviously it gets better later because you have more attack damage then. So I think if they really wanted to make vampire fangs good, they should make like a tier 4 item. And obviously buff it correspondingly. Philosopher's Stone reduces your damage by a little bit less now. Kind of a weird way to buff it, I think, but sure. Essence Ring, cooldown increase. This was a good one. This one makes me a little bit sad. Clumsy Net gets yet another nerf. I remember when this item was revealed, it was like tier 3 and people thought it was so bad, but it was actually fine. And they moved it down to tier 2 to make people think it was less bad, but then they're like, oh wait, this item's actually really good. Greater Fairy Fire is going to give 5 more damage. That's nice. This one was definitely one of the worst tier 3s. Repair Kit now has a 60-second cooldown. That's a big deal. They keep trying to make you carry it as an actual item, so they increase the health regen again to 25, which is incredibly high. So if you're like a Necro or a Centaur, maybe you'll keep this. Spider Leg cooldown increased. I don't think Spider Legs is like OP. If you can use it to replace your boots, it's kind of cool, but like you're usually not replacing your boots until super late. So late that maybe Woodland Striders or Force Boots have already dropped or something like that. Enchanted Quiver fixed a glitch with Arc Warden. Cooldown reduced again. This is like the 5th time this item's been buffed. I think I'll actually use it consistently now. Orb Destruction, slow increase, the armor reduction reduced. I don't really think this is a buff or a nerf. Mindbreaker cooldown reduced. I'm actually happy with this. I don't think that item was that good. Titan Sliver, less damage resistance, more base damage. Paladin Sword, more damage, significantly less lifesteal. So overall, I would say this is a nerf to Titan Sliver and Paladin Sword. Princess Knife cooldown reduced. Sure, this one was pretty bad. I like it. I hate these slicker changes. Just give it something like good. I don't know if you have to give it passive stats or what, but they just reduce the range and gives you, now you have to have a minimum of 200 range. Like it's still, it's still random, which is fine. I like the random nature of it. That's kind of cool, but like now it has like it's so short too. Like even if you hit max, it's so short. It just, I don't know. Illusionist Cape. It's a little bit easier, a lot easier really, to kill the illusion, but still very hard overall. Havoc Hammer, the damage and radius increased. This item was not that bad, but another buff makes it even better. Magic Lamp was very bad, so I'm glad to see a buff, but this is not that big of a buff. The heal increased by 100. No longer steals gold on kills. Can be activated to dig for bounty runes with a 100% success rate. Cooldown 40. Now, obviously, because this comes an hour into the game, this isn't as insane as it sounds, but getting a bounty rune every 40 seconds is a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. So those are the changes for it, guys. And in summary, I think a lot of items... Oh, yet another update. I think a lot of items are going to be seen with different frequencies. Like I said, Orchid, way cheap. So cheap. Like, you can use it to gank really early now. And like sometimes I bought Orchid on like Viper or things like that. You can buy Orchid on a lot more heroes, I feel, because of the reduction in price, and you don't care so much about losing the mana regen and int on non-int heroes. So I think more heroes can buy Orchid now. Scotty, 5,300 gold now. Lincoln Spear, 4,600. It's very cheap. Auras, yet again, take a look at another beat down. And then look out for those tanky spell lifesteal cores. And somebody, the Silver Edge as well. I really like the Silver Edge. Felt super good on the Slark. Nullifier. I actually don't think this item was that bad just because of how much damage and armor it gives. But look out for it. Look out for it now that the projectile can actually hit people. It's way too slow before. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll answer any and all questions.